What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron. Today we're checking out the new album, The Lost Years, by the band Dreamwake. This is the second studio album from the progressive metalcore, synthwave, synthcore, whatever you want to call them, band hailing from Connecticut. Their debut album, Virtual Reality, dropped in 2022 and was well received. And to me, they don't seem to lean too far into like one genre. I mean, they're progressive metalcore more than anything else, but they don't use like the synthwave 80s kind of sound as like a gimmick. They mix it in really well with their music. It's more of a really fun element than anything else. And it's not really used the same way over and over and over and over again. And I'm personally a huge fan of that 80s vibe. Mixing it with some aggressive metalcore riffs is just it for me. All the growls, the addicting choruses found in Virtual Reality just made me a fan instantly and very excited for this new record. And I gotta say right off the bat, it did not disappoint. The synth is very strong in this album, but again, not in a gimmicky way. The album does kind of feel like a one-trick pony at times though. Like the quick scale runs, the growled vocals in every single bridge, it kind of becomes predictable just a little bit. It starts to feel less like a novelty and more like a habit. The opening track, Stargazer, pulls you in immediately with a saxophone solo, and about a minute into it, it just erupts with drums and a guitar riff that is very, very progressive and complex. The clean vocals have always sounded really unique and refreshing to my ears, while the distorted vocals are super intense, making it for a really interesting contrast between the two. The second saxophone solo ends again in another eruption, mixing this with themes of overcoming what I believe to be addiction and also just past struggles and all your demons. This song was really easy for me to just listen to over and over again. Daydream has moments in the synth that remind me a lot of a video game, like something off of the soundtrack for Tron or something like that. The guitar riff always manages to put a smile on my face. The chorus is epic, and the longiness in the music mixed with the lyrics that continue the story from Stargazer, again, makes for another song that I could just listen to both of these back to back over and over and over again. Then we have the song Memories, which follows more of a traditional metalcore kind of structure, at least at first. It does switch things up pretty quickly. Verse 1 is very bass forward, as almost as much as it is vocal performance forward as well. Verse 2 comes directly after it with a bunch of different colorful melodies that sound fantastic. The vocal growls is just basically everything that you could possibly want, flowing straight into the chorus. It doesn't really let up at all. This song just keeps going straight through. The main thing that kept me coming back to it though was just the continuation of the story and the themes found in it. Dark Eternal has sentimental lyrics about a friend who I believe is encouraging or trying to inspire another friend to make the right choices or, you know, turn their life around. It's very drum forward. The drums are absolutely intense in the chorus. Everything reaches its peak in the bridge. And I gotta say, at this point, the third song in, honestly, it's a little hard to tell the difference in songs. It's not really a bad thing to me personally, because I find the first two songs to be pretty much near perfect as far as like that synthwave metalcore goes. So they're just working off of that sound, but definitely the song structures are starting to feel a little predictable. You have the mid track, which is VHS Dream, which is an instrumental that induces a lot of nostalgia. It has like a VHS kind of recording quality to it. And then we have the song Afterglow, which picks things up pretty much right where they left off. I love the mix with the panning guitars. They do change things up quite a bit in this. It feels a little bit more 80s inspired, with the synth being a little bit more prominent, and the lyrics have that kind of presence of the era as well. The vocals don't really become harsh until the bridge, which is a nice change, but still at the same time, at this point in the back half of the album, Afterglow starts to kind of be, it kind of tells you exactly what's going to start coming next. All the other songs are going to kind of follow sync with that. Supernova does change things up just a little bit by keeping the wave of music going all the way through the verse and the chorus, making the vocals, to me, work a little bit harder and bringing the dynamics that's needed to really separate all the different sections of the song, which I enjoyed a lot. I really like how the music never stops coming, and when it does, the only thing that's hanging out there afterwards is a synth, and it sounds so freaking cool. And then we have Oasis, which has like a Stranger Things kind of vibe to it. It's got also one of my favorite riffs on this entire album, and the progression in the song is great. It might be my favorite song, as it is just a little bit different from everything else. The clean vocals in the chorus to me sound a little bit more dynamic. It sounds like they're doing a little bit more, and it sounds so freaking good with the powerful drums. And then of course the saxophone comes in, and the saxophone mixed with those powerful drums, it just makes everything, it just makes it all come together. Cold Summer kind of feels like a pop punk song, specifically in the verse, so it stood out to me quite a bit. I love the vocal pacing in the chorus, and the interlude is really cool. The music sounds like it's spiraling down, and I like how the guitar kind of traded melodies with the saxophone. So the saxophone, like, it doesn't feel like a solo. It feels like it's more integrated within the song itself. It had its own like little spotlight, I guess you could say. And then of course the breakdown in this is one of the best on the album. And then we have White Noise, which is like the slowish ballady kind of song, sort of. I mean, it has clean vocals and a swelling synth until you get to the chorus where everything kind of comes together. The saxophone once again fills in for the lead guitar, and the post-chorus with a guitar solo is super cool. You don't really know what's coming next. There's a lot of aggression in this song, and there's a lot of progression within this song also. And I feel like these two songs stuck out to me probably the most. Static Haze has a haunting atmosphere with a melancholic tone. The pop punk elements kind of show up again, but they're not quite as charming as they were in Cold Summer. The focus seems to be more on the hardcore elements, which I enjoyed quite a bit. The breakdown is like a punch to the gut. And then we have the closing track, Heatwave, which is a pretty sad song, honestly. The ending of this story, it doesn't sound like much has changed. This person is still struggling, and it's affecting a lot of people. It's about everybody that has been affected by this person and their choices, and the emotions can be felt in the vocals, in the music, and the saxophone solo, which to me carries a lot more weight to it because you just know it's the last song, so it's like coming to an end. It's just, it's a tough one. Getting the themes through this carry all the way through to the very end, and you're hoping to get some closure, and while you do, it just isn't exactly what you're hoping for. And the argument I'm trying to make for this album is that they're not just a one-trick pony. To me, having the same musical qualities throughout a lot of these songs, and honestly, like, a lot of them are different. I tried to point out a lot of the differences throughout these songs and how some of them, even the whole songs even stood out to me more than others, and it just makes the lyrics and the themes, it just works because they're all so close together. So the fact that everything flows and it all kind of sounds the same could either be a bad thing, but to me it sounds more like a good thing because it feels like one big story. It's like watching a movie. In this case, it happens to be a sad movie. So you can hear one or two songs and just say you've heard everything that there is to hear on this album, or you can listen to the album in its entirety and find out just how much it has to offer. With all that said, I got to give The Lost Years by Dreamwake at 8.5 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. I have a feeling most people haven't even heard of this band before. Maybe. So yeah, leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of The Lost Years. Let me know what you would rate it and what your favorite song is. And if you haven't listened to it, go ahead, check them out. They're great. Sound fantastic. Either one of their albums, debut or this one, you will have yourself a good time. And if you enjoyed this video, you had a good time here, don't forget to give it a like. It helps out a lot with YouTube's algorithm, and you can always support me further by subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff, it does a lot more than you could ever imagine for my YouTube channel, and I appreciate you guys so much for taking time out of your day and listening to me sit here and talk about music. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this, and I'll talk to you guys next time.